How to sound impressive while speaking English. You want to sound impressive while speaking English but don't know how. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you how can you sound impressive while speaking English. First of all, never ever try to impress anyone while speaking English. When you try to impress anyone, you always end up never impressing anyone. And that is a practical thing. Okay, because when we try to impress anyone, we overdo sometime and regret it later. So please never try to impress anyone, never speak to impress anyone. When you are speaking, you should have one thing in your brain that I just need to express my feelings, I just need to express my thoughts to the next person. You are not speaking to impress anyone, so you don't need to use any fancy words, you don't need to adopt any fancy accent, you don't need to do any show off. Okay, you just need to express your ideas, your feelings with simple words you have. Okay, and that is enough. Because be you, be natural, you don't need to pretend like someone else, and you are so impressive when you are natural. So don't try to be like someone else or don't try to impress anyone. And one thing that I have seen in so many people, like they can speak English when they speak to themselves, when they speak in front of mirror, they are good in English, but when they try to communicate with other people, they end up not saying a single word, they end up getting hesitate or nervous, and that is a very frustrating thing. Because you can speak English but you don't have enough courage, enough confidence to communicate with someone else, to communicate with people. So you need to develop that confidence in you. So you need to think, you need to remember one thing in your brain when you are speaking to someone, when you are communicating with other people, that no matter whom you are talking with, you are just talking to a simple human being. Okay, no matter whom you are talking with, in the end he is just a normal human being. You need to remember that thing in your brain. Okay, and one more thing that you need to remember is expressing your feelings, expressing your views in English is not that much hard. Okay, you are making it too big, but it's so easy. I have an example for you. Okay, so ये एक नोटबुक है, दिस इज़ अ नोटबुक. ओके, मैंने वाइट जैकेट पहन रखी है, आई एम वियरिंग ए वाइट जैकेट. So this is very simple. Everything that you can say in your mother language, you can say it in English also. Okay, it is very simple. So don't think, don't hesitate. You just need little confidence to speak. Okay, and you are good in English. You can speak with yourself. And expressing your feelings in English is not that much hard. Okay, everything that you can speak in your mother language, you can speak it in English also. Whenever you are communicating, just think that I am speaking with a human being. He is just a simple human being. He is just a simple person. You just need to speak with your heart, with simple minimum words you have. Just express your feelings. And everything that you can express in your mother language, you can express in English also. Okay, it's very simple. So when you are talking to someone, don't get hesitate, because in the end he is just a human being. You are just a human being. And it's so simple. Okay, just try to be practical. Okay, and one thing that is going to be very helpful for you if you want to have impressive or successful English conversation. Okay, no one is perfect. Okay, everyone has faults, everyone made mistakes, and that is totally okay, because it's human nature. No one is perfect. Okay, so when you are speaking to someone, when you make a conversation with someone, please admit your mistakes, admit your faults. If you are not so good enough in English, if you are not so confident in English, you can speak it out. Okay, so before making any conversation, you can admit your problems, you can admit your faults. You can say that I'm not so good enough in English. English is not my first language. So please don't mind my mistakes. That is some words, that is some sentences that is going to help you. Just admit your faults honestly. And people actually loves you when you admit your faults. And people actually love honesty. So when you honestly admit your faults, when you honestly tell people that you are not so good enough, you are not good, you are not fluent in English, they are gonna understand you. But first you need to admit your faults honestly. You need to make people understand that you are not perfect, and there is no one perfect. People understand. Not everyone is gonna judge you, not everyone is gonna mock at you. Okay, you just need to make them understand about your situation. And literally people love your faults when you admit them wisely. So if you are not confident enough, if you are not so fluent, if you are not so good, just admit your fault that I'm not so good. Okay, so these are the simple tips that is going to help you to sound impressive or to have a successful conversation with anyone. Okay, so never ever try to impress anyone. Okay, because you are not here to impress anyone. If you want to speak English to deliver your ideas or to deliver your thoughts. You don't need to speak to impress anyone. Second thing, always remember that no matter whom you are talking with, in the end he is just a simple human being. Okay, always remember that thing. Last thing, admit your faults, admit your mistakes. People are gonna love you. Okay, and these are the simple tips that is gonna help you a lot. Okay, so that is all I have to share with you. I hope you enjoy this video.